Another day, another example of Trump's Gestapo-like forces acting like fascists and authoritarians on the streets of Portland. So this is from Empire TV. I believe the video credit is Ishmael Luxury. On Twitter, more fascist tactics undertaken by authorities in the U.S. as they once again essentially kidnap. I would say essentially that's what they did. Once again, kidnap someone by throwing them into the back of an unmarked vehicle and then tell bystanders they will be shot if they try to follow them. This is again on the streets of Portland in the United States. If this is not highly, highly concerning and deeply disturbing to you, you must be sleeping. Unmarked vehicles, unidentified federal cops, straight up fucking secret police fascist shit happening on the streets in the US right now.
Where are you have to tell us where you're taking her? Where are you going? Where are you going? Help us! Help us! Who is this? Who the fuck?
Taxpayer dollars hard at work. Watch it once more.
Right here.
People doing this shit are disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yo, what the fuck? This is an unmarked car. Who is this? Who are you?
You hear that? If you follow us, you will get shot. If you follow us, you will get shot. So, unmarked vehicles, federal cops with no type of identification, just randomly kidnapping people off the streets of Portland and telling these people if they follow them after just abducting, kidnapping one of their friends, they will be shot. Taxpayer dollars hard at work funding just crazy state violence and fascism and authoritarianism on the streets of Portland. And Trump has said that the Department of Homeland Security, who this is all, kind of being coordinated by, this is going to be, these type of tactics are going to be used more broadly in the U.S. to try to quell any type of uprisings or protests. Again, if this isn't scary or freak you out, wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. And then, this is how bad this federal response has been, both, with these secret kidnappings by these secret police and unidentified cars, tear gassing peaceful protesters, shooting with rubber bullets, the unlawful arrests, etc., etc. And kudos to Portland Fire and Rescue. Look at this. In further signs of tension, Portland Fire and Rescue bans federal agents and Portland cops from using its stations. Fuck yeah. All solidarity with all the paramedics, EMTs, firefighters. Yes, those are the real patriots. If you want to get into, public service, become a firefighter, become a paramedic. Do not become one of these fascist authoritarian police officers. And again, this is how bad it's getting. Oregon lawmakers introduced bill to block shadowy paramilitary. So let's check it out.
Congressmen and women back in Washington today, but they're still focused on the arrest happening here in Portland. Today, several Oregon lawmakers. Congressmen and women back in Washington today, but they're still focused on the arrest happening here in Portland. Today, several Oregon lawmakers teamed up to announce new legislation to block paramilitary occupations of American cities.
As they should, for fuck's sake.
People who, without cause, are being grabbed and gassed
like we just saw
on our streets, that are engaging in practices that, in my view, are unconstitutional.
Yes.
Democrats want to tie the
Just
legislation to the
categorically
National
true.
Defense Authorization Act that Congress is set to vote on later this week.
Which is fucking bloated and disgusting anyway.
When I was your age.
Alright, so you can see fascism coming to the streets of the US and Portland now, and probably nationwide sooner than later under regime leader Trump, and him trying to look tough on crime because he's tanking in the polls. I even saw during a Fox News interview that they did with Trump, it was with Chris Wallace, that actually now Biden is actually ahead, at least in that one poll, with regards to who people think would handle or do a better job with the economy, which has been one area where Trump has always outpaced Biden. So that's troubling signs. And Trump is just basically grasping at straws at this point. And from my perspective, it's backfiring spectacularly when you have, you know, these lawmakers introducing this bill, Portland Fire and Rescue saying F off to the police and these, you know, federal secret police, Gestapo forces. And you have, you know, that mom brigade out there getting tear gas, coming back the night after, an even stronger number. So again, this doesn't concern you because it doesn't affect you right now. That's the same type of logic that allowed the, you know, Nazis to get so powerful. Is what's that saying? First, you know, they came for the socialists. I didn't say anything because I wasn't a socialist. Then they came, you know, for the journalists. I didn't say anything because I, you know, wasn't a journalist. On, and then there's nobody left to speak out until they come for you. So again, this should be a huge wake up call. And again, it's more or less these, you know, imperial tactics that the, you know, military industrial complex has been using on the so-called, you know, global south for time immemorial, you know, more or less these type of, you know, renditions, secret renditions, you know, kidnapping people in places like Iraq, Afghanistan, all over the world, using those, you know, secret prisons and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Now it's being brought to bear on the civilian population. And again, you know, communities of color, other marginalized people and groups have always been a target of the surveillance and the police state, as well as, you know, just dissidents, you know, in general, people who spoke truth to power. And this is just being extended now. And it's, you know, that other stuff obviously needed to be called out then, as it is still happening now, but it's intensifying. And again, if you're not worried about this, I don't know why you would not be.